Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings of the Almighty Creator be upon you all. Among the many verses in the Quran, which is intentionally distorted by the enemies of peace and eventually results to misconceptions, is this verse found in chapter Al-Baqarah, the second chapter in the Quran, verse 193. Allah said, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وقاتلوهم حتى لا تكون فتنة ويكون الدين لله فإن انتهوا فلا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. And fight them until there is no more fitna, and worship is for Allah alone. But if they cease, let there be no more transgression, except against al-zalimun, the wrongdoers. So, this is one of the many verses, dear brothers and sisters, which the enemies of peace distort. In the Arabic language, the word قاتلوهم literally means kill them. And so, those who are against peace and they are referred to as the enemies of peace use this meaning to deceive people in order to destroy the image of peace. And as the world already knows, Islam is a religion of peace. But the truth of the matter is, qatilu means fight. Fight which is far, far away than the word kill. So, fight who? Those disbelievers, those transgressors, those who do injustice, those oppressors, those who hurt you. Is this not a normal thing which an individual does when he is under those conditions mentioned? Are you not going to fight back or defend yourself when you are under attack? When somebody wants to hurt you, when a person wants to bully you, or when you are being oppressed, definitely you will defend yourself. But the enemies of peace, those who distort information just so to discredit a peace-loving nation, they will give a version of this meaning to make it appear that Islam hurts people, Muslims oppress people, Islam abuses, Muslims are cruel, and so on and so forth. Allah said, until there is no more fitna, another Arabic term which has a vast meaning depending on the context of the verse at hand. And in this verse, it takes the meaning of disbelief, specifically worshipping others aside from the one true Creator. They are those who set up partners with Allah. Islam teaches the divine, pure oneness of the Creator, who is none other but Allah. All the prophets, including Adam, Abraham, Noah, Moses, Ismail, Isa or Jesus, and Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon them all, they all taught that there is no worthy of worship except Allah. They never asked or even commanded their people to build images out of rock or soil or mud or wood just so to be reminded of the Creator? Never. They taught how to worship the Creator directly. And the existence of disbelievers, whom we already referred to as those who set up partners in worshiping the one true Creator, shall definitely cause chaos and more terrible situations in the society. That is why you will find in some verses in the Quran stating that fitna is most worse than fighting. As long as the disbelievers exist, then expect crimes to take place. The truth of the matter is, Islam has a very high standard in considering who are the criminals in the society. Innakum mujrimun. In many places in the Quran, the word mujrimun means criminals, and the explanation of the meaning of which comprises those who set up partners in worshiping the Creator. Not only are the rapists, robbers, smugglers, corruptors are criminals, but first and foremost in the Islamic standard are those who worship the Creator with others. Those who set up partners with the one true Creator are considered criminals. In a non-Islamic country, such as the Philippines, you will never see in the Constitution that those who worship others besides the one true Creator are criminals. Never can that be found. No wonder the criminal rate is incomparable to an Islamic country such as Saudi Arabia, where evidently the crime rate in our country is high. Remember that one who is not fluent in Arabic language will always fail to understand. Aside from that, he is never an authority to give words about Islam and the Muslims. He has no right at all to single out a verse and manipulate it just so to satisfy his personal interests. Reading the English or Tagalog translation of the meaning shall never be enough to fully understand the real meaning of the Quran. Going back to the verse, therefore, fight those who worship others besides Allah. The enemies of peace will emphasize that this fighting in this verse solely means killing, and that it is executed in harsh and merciless means. Subhanallah. Now that we know that they are not in authority, are we going to believe them? All those that we see in the internet, especially the videos they upload showing graphic scenes of ruthless, if not barbaric acts, are we going to believe it? When in fact, fake news is very rampant. And never disregard that the enemies of peace are real and will never stop to find verses in the Quran that they will distort its real meaning so that they can brainwash and recruit victims. In addition, the enemies of peace will say that this verse is applicable in all places, regardless of people's nationality. This is so untrue, a big lie, and surely a falsehood. The cruel, inhuman killings they spread about Islam is another falsification and a big distortion. Look at Saudi Arabia, where more than 1 million OFWs are provided with jobs, which the Philippine government can provide. Otherwise, will these people still go abroad if they have jobs here in our country? If the statement of the enemies of peace is true, will there still be OFWs who will apply to go and work there? Yes, it is clear that Saudi Arabia prohibits the open practice of other religions, and that is their right. And 98% of Filipino workers in Saudi Arabia are non-Muslims, subhanallah. Do we see them being brutally killed? I think people don't know that Saudi Arabia has Islamic centers in the kingdom where they educate non-Muslims about Islam. Many are unaware about the abundant programs Saudi Arabia conducts to engage the non-Muslims in order for them to know and understand this religion of peace called Islam. That is how they fight. Here in the Philippines, the Muslims are a minority, but next in number after Christianity in terms of population. There are Filipino Muslim policemen, doctors, lawyers, Filipino Muslim nurses, professors, and in all walks of life. Considering that this country is non-Islamic, therefore, we can't conduct what Saudi can do in larger scales. However, there are still many ways to fight, to struggle, to strive, and to exert all effort to teach that there is no worthy of worship except the true Creator. For the record, the Philippines, before the Spaniards colonized us, was full of Muslim leaders nationwide, including Lapu-Lapu. All Muslims in the Philippines love to have this country back to where it once was. Very Islamic. But are we going to attain it by means of vicious and savage ways? Of course not. And that is not even part of the teaching of Islam. On the contrary, we use peaceful means to fight. We use the radio stations, different social media platforms, news articles in local newspapers, online lectures, face-to-face lectures with the police stations, barangays, schools, universities, and conduct Islamic exhibits in malls, subhanallah, and a lot more. To fight, therefore, as mentioned in this verse, does not take the harsh meaning of it, but rather the peaceful ways of doing it, like in the examples I already enumerated. In the verse, until there is no more fitna, means that it is a continuous process until you reach a certain stage or status. And what is that status? That there are no more people who are worshiping others besides Allah. And so it follows. But if they cease, they stop, let there be no enmity, no conflict, or no more hostility. In other words, there shall be peace, there shall be harmony, except to those wrongdoers, as mentioned in the verse, those who do injustice. Then, of course, they shall be dealt with accordingly with the Sharia, or the law of Allah, in an Islamic nation, of course. Now, you apply this explanation in all the verses in the Quran with the same context, and you will surely say, like what an American woman who embraced Islam said, Islam makes sense. Despite all these false accusations and all attempts to make Islam and the Muslims look bad, people who embraced Islam remain steadfast and hold on tight with this faith. Look at Robin Padilla, who is Abdulaziz. His daughter, Queenie Padilla. Retired Major Abdusalam Calde. Retired General Isagani Nieres, who was once a regional director of the CAR region. And countless names of Filipinos who embraced Islam. Did they say, I now dissociate myself from Islam because the news said this about Islam, because the internet said this about the Muslims, because YouTube showed sadistic and heartless videos about Islam and the Muslims? Did they leave Islam? Obviously, no. BBC and CNN said the fastest growing religion is Islam. They admit it. And despite all these false accusations and all attempts to make Islam and the Muslims look bad, priests, nuns, pastors, reverends, doctors, lawyers, engineers, drivers, domestic helpers, and all walks of life, they continue to embrace Islam. So, think logically. There are 1.8 billion Muslims in the world. That is about 24% of world population. Please, think deeply about these figures. If they say that Islam teaches killing and Muslims are killers, then applying those figures means that in just 4 or 5 days, there will be no more non-Muslims on the face of the earth. And so the bomb question is what the enemies of peace telling us the real thing about what the Muslims are doing? Or is it what Islam teaches? Let me tell you that Islam stands on certainty and not doubt. And so I want you to be a person of certainty and not ambiguity. May this short speech be a source of enlightenment and correct awareness on the matter that was discussed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.